Welcome you into the beautiful field of Prasco Park here in Mason, Ohio for one of the biggest rivalries in the Cincinnati area. It's the Mason Comets versus the Kings Knights. I'm Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Trevor Rose for today's game. And Trevor, like I just mentioned, this is a huge rivalry in the Cincinnati area. These are two teams that are really going to want it tonight.
Yeah, here in the Trinity Diamond Classic between Mason and Kings, they play almost every single year. Last year, Comets coming away victorious, and the year prior to that, Kings coming out. It's never going to be one way. They always bring insane energy to this game, and I expect tonight to be the exact same.
Absolutely, and the Comets, one of the hottest teams in the GMC, if not the hottest, a 9-1 record, 9-0 in the GMC. 9-game winning streak coming into today after a first game loss to Oak Ridge 10-5. Like I said, Trevor, you look at last year, it was a 6-2 win for the Comets. It was led by some of the now graduated players of Casey Donor, Jake Hanley, and Alex Kelling having great games there. Something to mention that we'll hit more when the Comets come up to bat. The only two players in the lineup for the Comets that were in this lineup last year, Cade Landier and Drew Johnson. So we've mentioned a couple times this year, this is a brand new Mason Comet team, and now they get their first shot here in an amazing ballpark.
Yeah, and Cade Landier, one of those guys that have been outstanding for the Comets this year, has just been hitting well. He's been a great fielder. The Comets riding into today, second in the GMC in fielding percentage, something that they really hit on a lot with a 937 fielding percentage. And then coming into this game, pitching I think is going to be the biggest thing between the two teams. The Comets third in the GMC with an ERA of 2.2, and then Kings first in the ECC with a ERA of a 1.66.
Yeah, absolutely. Two teams that are great pitching, great hitting. You just mentioned first in the ECC pitching. They're first in the ECC in hitting as well. Look at the Comets' last game. It was Thursday night versus Fairfield, a 10-3 win. It was game one of that series, this game being right in the middle. And the Comets, they were up 7-0 after the second inning, and it was 9-3 after the fourth. Did commit 3 errors, but they're looking to help that defense keep this win streak going into double digits. We'll head to a break as we get ready for the first pitch here from Prasco Park. Stay tuned here on Mason Sports Radio. On the mound for the Kings is the sophomore Carson McDonough. 3 appearances on the year for him, 4 1/3 inning pitch. Giving up 5 hits, 1 earned run on the year with 7 strikeouts to go with that. His last outing was versus Milford, pitched 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, no hits. So the Comets are going up against a good one for Kings. Leading it off for the Comets is the senior Cade Landier. Well, the first times he's been in the leadoff role, he'll step in first tonight. First pitch in there for a strike, makes it 0-1.
Yeah, Landonier started the season bottom of the lineup, worked his way all the way to the top of the lineup.
It's that one. This one is out for ball 1. Look at Landier. Thursday was 2 for 4, had an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout versus Fairfield. It's 2 straight multi-hit games coming into today. Hits that one on the ground to second. Clean play on the first, and Landier is gone to start the first.
Yeah, good piece of contact, just kind of rolled it over a little bit on the fastball in as coming up Sam Davies now. Sam Davies probably one of the best hitters so far this season on this team. Was just over batting .375 to start the season.
One outside. You talk about Davies, one of the best breakthrough players of this team. Didn't have a whole lot of varsity time last year, but he's fought his entire way into being one of the most reliable hitters on this Mason team. Now 2-0. Look at Davies. He's 11 for his last 20. That's a .550 average. Really carrying the weight for this Comet offense. One is outside. Davies works a 3-0 count, threatening the first base runner for the Comets tonight.
It's a good eye, and he hasn't given up too many walks this year. That one right down Broadway. Only 3 walks allowed on the season for Carson McDonough, as that won't be fouled away.
So now works the count back full. Look at Davies, had a double and a triple versus Hamilton earlier in the year. He's riding a 6-game hit streak. A couple guys on this Comet team coming in today with a 6-game hit streak. Also Grant O'Connor. Some of these juniors really starting to make a big impact for this team. That one hit up the middle. Gets through shortstop, going to make the play. He retires Davies. Now 2 down to start the top of the first.
Phenomenal range there from Kellen Rich, able to get to that chopper in the middle of the field. Most shortstop, they don't get to that one, and that's a base hit into center field with just a little dribbler over top the pitcher's head.
So now 2 straight ground ball outs for McDonough on the hill, trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. Liam Sanders steps in for the Comets. He looks at that one, makes it 1-0. Sanders was one of the guys on this team last year who got a lot of varsity time. So going into this year, we expected him to be one of the guys the Comets could really ride off offensively, especially being at the first base side. You know, that's the guy who's going to be the big power hitter, but he's been struggling recently, looking to kind of get his groove back. That one crushed into left field. Going back to dive, can't get it. Sanders rounds first, he's going to second. Still trying to get the relay, gets into second. And it's a stand-up double for Liam Sanders, his second of the year. Comets have a man in scoring position.
That one was smoked off the bat of Sanders into left field. The diving attempt from Andrew Lehman, unable to get the catch. But still a phenomenal effort from Lehman out there in left field. But Sanders smoked that ball. So we'll have a little mound visit.
And that's the kind of swing that you want from your power hitter. Amazing job. Sanders worked the 2-0, and then he just able to just club that ball left field. Tried to make the diving play, wasn't able to get it. Now the Comets, a chance to go up 1-0. Grant O'Connor, another junior, steps in, batting fourth for the Comets. Awaits the first one. Still 2 gone. Hits this one softly on the third. It's going to be a tough play. Pumps on the first, and he's safe. He runs out the infield single. Now the Comets have 2 on the corners for J.J. Darst.
J.J. Darst, probably the player that everyone expected to be the biggest star for this team. He's been kind of in a rough patch heading into this game, batting a .36 on the season.
Absolutely. It's been a little bit of a struggle, but he does have a home run. That came versus Princeton a couple of weeks ago. now has a chance to club on a couple more RBIs to that stat line. Hits this one into right. Jump, they can't get it. That's into right field. Sanders scores. Going to third is O'Connor, and he's in with a stand-up double. The Comet offense running with 2 outs. It's a 1-0 ball game.
That ball was smoked by Darce into right field.
It's a great piece of hitting. Was only the first pitch that Darce saw. Now the Comets have the lead here early.
Ben Brandon in at second base to run for J.J. Darce.
Now Chase Cox will stand in for the Comets. Cox, another one of those first-year players for the Comets, also had a home run versus Princeton earlier in the season. Looks at that first strike.
The Comets have 3 home runs on the season. All 3 of them came in that Princeton game. J.J. Darce, Grant O'Connor, and Chase Cox all with a home run in that game.
That one fouled back. Cox went 2 for 4 Thursday versus Fairfield. He had an RBI, struck out, had a run. The senior is really his first time of having a lot of play time for this Comet team. It was an infield that was, loaded with the Alex Kellings, the Jake Hanleys, so it was not easy for players who are now seeing the field to have gotten those reps last year. We mentioned really only the 2 or 3 guys for the Comet team last year who coming back who got a lot of playing time was Drew Johnson, J.J. Darce, and Cade Landier. Looks at that one up. It's now 2-2 count to Cox. Looks at that one, strike 3 called. McDonough is able to get out of it, but the Comets do get on the board. They leave 2 stranded, but we head to the bottom of the first. Comets up 1-0. Bottom of the first here at Prasco Park. Comets get a run in the top. Now, time for the pitching. Brody Krugerman, the junior, or sorry, Brody Countryman, the junior, on the mound for the Comets. 3 appearances this year. It's his second start of the year. Last time out was versus Cole Rain about a week ago. Pitched 4 innings, 8 strikeouts, and got the win on that. Batting leadoff for Kings, it's Nathan Tucker, one of the best hitters in the ECC. Fouls that one back for strike 1.
Yeah, Nathan Tucker, 3rd in the ECC in the batting average, also 3rd in RBIs and 1st in the ECC in hits.
Absolutely one of the top players on this team. The biggest breakout, didn't play a whole lot last year for this Kings team. And something you'll notice when you look at this roster for Kings, a ton of underclassmen. Tucker only being a sophomore and batting .529 about halfway through. He fouls that one back and makes it 1-2.
Also the man behind him, Lehman, also a sophomore. Sophomore class for this team, really, really good.
Just shows you the youth that this Kings team has in the ECC. Countryman lines, and that one's into center. It's a leadoff hit for Nathan Tucker. The .529 hitter extends his batting average, and now Kings has a guy on first, nobody out.
Decent hit into center field, drops right in front of Landier. Unable to try to go in and make the catch. Now, with the runner on, expects stuff low in the zone, try to turn a double play here.
Something when you look at Countryman, you see scouting report, a great changeup, about a low 80s fastball. Does like to work with the ground ball a lot. That's where a lot of his outs will mainly come from, even though he did have those 8 Ks versus Cole Rain.
All-speed pitch sat there about 66 miles per hour.
In this,
as the pickoff no good.
The senior Killon Rich steps in, number 2 for Kings. A .240 hitter through 25 at-bats on the year. Look at the 0-1. That one upstairs makes it a 1-1 count. Killon was 0 for 2 with a walk versus Milford on Tuesday in a 3-1 loss. Throw back to first. Sanders tried to get him, but Tucker back in safely. Rich, he's had hits in 6 of 9 games this year for the Knights. That one drops in, makes it a 1-2 count.
Ball sat there at 76 miles per hour, able to get in there for a strike. Look back to first, slides in safely. Countryman now down 2-1. Fouls that back, makes the count even. Rich versus the Comets last year in Prasco Park. Only he was 0 for 3 in that game. One of the main returners for this Kings team. Kind of like the Comets, not a whole lot of experience on this Kings team, especially in this lineup. Runner goes, that one hit well in the left field. That's down, runner's gonna go home. No throw at the plate. Kings ties it up. It's a stand-up double for the senior Killon Rich. Great job there by Rich. He was kind of in front of the ball, but able to stay fair, get it right down the line. Grant O'Connor had to run to that ball and run a long distance to get that one, as the game is now tied up 1-1.
So Kings is able to tie this one up before the Comets can even record an out. Unlike for Countryman, almost 7 innings pitched this year. He's only given up 4 earned runs.
Now at 5.
Absolutely, after that one, already shades a potentially a high-scoring game. No one out, man in scoring position. That first one popped up. Darce going back. That's going to drift foul.
JJ able to catch that one in foul territory to record the first out.
Yeah, excuse me. It almost looked like it was out for a second. It rolls back. So it only takes 1 pitch. The 3-hole hitter for the Comets to record the first out. Pitcher Carson McDonough up, hits this lawfully, gets away from the pitcher on the first. And a run's going to score. Kings will take the lead, now makes it 2-1. The Comet defense, miscommunication. Now Kings
if you're Countryman, you just gotta let that ball go. You have great defense behind you, like we said earlier in the top of the game. Second in the GMC in fielding percentage. He's going to get there and be able to record that out. As the Countryman, you just kind of like have to let that one go to your second baseman, and hopefully he shuts it down at first.
So now a 2-1 game. Man on first. Quentin Kines, the sophomore, stands in for Kings. A .385 hitter through 26 at bats this year. This one popped. To left, makes the play. Runner won't tag. Gets back to second. It's going to be a double play. So runner on first thought it was going to get down, ran the entire way, and the Comets are able to double him up. So after giving up two, Countryman able to get out of it. Comets go down after one, 2-1 score. Top of the second, Comets find themselves down 2-1 after giving up two in the bottom of the first. Leading it off for the Comets, the junior, Isaac Vargo. Look at Vargo, has been struggling as of recent, been battling a shoulder injury. He's been struggling in his last about 10 at-bats. But, Trevor, you could say that in Nebraska Park is a great place to start a hitting streak.
A great place to break out of the slump.
Hits this on the ground to second. Gets it off of a hop throw on the first in time. Vargo is retired.
Vargo showed great hustle down the first base line. Unfortunately, he hit it right at the second baseman. Maybe if he hit that a little bit more up the middle in the second baseman, I get that, he'd beat that one out. And stepping in now is the senior right fielder, Hutch Crociata.
Crociata, he's missed 7 games this year, missed 19 last year. He's been dealing with injuries for that entirety of that timeline. But since he's came back, he's recorded an RBI in each of the 2 that he's played. This is the guy that the Comets just need to have back. Lays a bunt, that one drops foul. But Crociata, you know, a guy who's been on this varsity team for a long time now, you know, played in the playoffs last year for that state championship run. You have a guy who can collect these bases the way that Crociata can. It brings such a much-needed improvement to this Comet lineup. Swings through that one, makes it 0-2.
That one at 76. Kind of a change-up look there.
Crociata's 2 for 6 since the return. Hits this sharply into left. That's going to be a base hit for Crociata. Now a 3-game hit streak since the return.
Great job by Crociata.
So now Comets have 1 on, 1 out, up to the 9-hole hitter Drew Johnson. You could say the most experience out of anyone on this Comet team. He looks at that one, the ball one. Johnson had a 6-game hit streak through early April last year. A great fielder. Mentioned from talking to Isaac Vargo. This is a guy who was mentioned by the now graduated Alex Kelling heavily. Has to duck under that one for ball 2. That's something that was talked about so much about this Comet team is they played so well and they were so tight inside of the locker room. Johnson able to be mentored by a Division I baseball player at Ohio State in Alex Kelling, as he knows that this is a year that he's going to need to be great.
Yeah, that one did not feel good for Johnson. Fouled that one right off the foot.
Yeah, an awkward foul ball. Looks to be walking all right, so he hopefully fine. Thursday versus Fairfield was 1 for 2. Drew 2 walks. See, second on this Comet team in walks, has 10 on the year behind J.J. Darst at 12. 2-1 swings through that, makes the count even at 2-2.
Man, that changeup was nasty right there. Fell off the table. You can tell based on the swing that falls off the table.
2-2 outside, runs the count full. Johnson, a 174 hitter. He's 4 for 23 on the year, so not the start that he's wanted. But I do think with the early season stats, late time called. Already pitched as Johnson was walking out of the box. With some of these early season stats, just about 10 games into the year, doesn't fully reflect the player's performance. Once we get towards the end, we're really going to see what this Comet team is made of. 3-2 pitch. That one fouled back once more. This will be the 7th pitch to Johnson of this at-bat upcoming. Fouled back once again. Johnson doing a great job staying alive. Trying to move Crociata. So far, the longest at-bat of any player in this game for either side. Comets have Cade Landier in the hole. Already going through almost the entire lineup. That one down low. Johnson, a beautiful 8-pitch at-bats. He works the walk. Now the Comets have 2 on with 1 out here in the second.
A great walk there by Drew Johnson. Johnson, one of the leaders in on-base percentage, just over a 380 mark. So we're back to the top of the lineup with Cade Landier.
Landier grounded out to second in his first at-bat. Looks at that one for a strike. Big chance for Landier, who played in this game last year. He was 1 for 3 with the strikeout versus Kings. Now a chance to tie this one up or potentially give the Comets the lead back. Comets have been great in the early innings so far this year. Do tend to quiet down once it gets to around the 5th or 6th inning. Looks to drop a bunt, pulls that one back. See something with Cade Landier, with a guy who has drawn a walk in every single game this year. He has 11 on the young season. One of the best eyes on the team. Hits this one into left field. That one's going to get down. Crociata rounds third. He's heading home. And Johnson heading home as well. No throw. It's a 2 RBI double for Cade Landier. Comets back up top.
Great job by Cade Landier. Shot it into the gap, and the left fielder tripped on that one. The left fielder, Andrew Lehman, he tripped and fell and was able to plate the extra run because of that. Great job by Cade Landier, and then the great speed by Hutch Crociata and Drew Johnson to get from second and first all the way home to score to go ahead and give the Comets the lead back.
Already a very high-scoring game. Comets now back up 3-2. Watch Landier on the base pass. He has 11 stolen bases on the year. That's most on the team. Davies back up for his second at-bat of the game. Grounded out to third in his first at-bat. Davies, we mentioned, one of the hottest hitters on this team, batting over 500 over his last 20 at-bats. Fouls that one back towards the right side.
One hit off the top of the backstop and jumped right back to him.
Davies a good power threat as well. Hasn't hit one out this year, but we did mention has a triple. That one hit on the second. Bobbled by the second baseman. Defensive error after error. And Kay Landier is able to score all the way from second. The Comets take a 4-2 lead as Davies is in the first safely.
E4 there by the second baseman, booted it away and allowed a run to score from second. Davies, he didn't even hit that really that hard. It was just kind of hit right at that's more of a routine play. He just messed it up.
Liam Sanders doubled to left in his first at-bat. Came around to score for the Comets' first run. Fouls that one. Talk about Liam Sanders. We mentioned it in his first at-bat. Had been struggling, but really got a hold of that one in the first inning for that second double of the season for him. And runner goes. Didn't even get a pitch through.
It's like they're calling a balk on the pitcher.
Yeah, you heard the screaming for a balk. And Davies was running like a seal with the throw back, so it looks like it will be a balk. Davies takes second. Still only one gone, and a runner in scoring position for Sanders. 0-1, that one fastball in for strike two. Sanders an even 7 walk to 7 strikeout ratio on the year. Big chance to get some insurance for Brody Countryman. McDonough takes multiple looks at Davies on second. Pitch up the middle, but a nice play by the shortstop, is able to throw it to first, but the throw was offline. The defense just keeps messing up for Kings. Now the Comets have guys on the corners.
Yeah, it was a great play by Rich to get to the ball, and he just threw that up the line, and it missed Sanders on the tag. He went around to sweep around for the tag and missed, unable to get it.
So 2 errors on the inning for this Knights defense. Now Grant O'Connor back in. He singled in his first at-bat. It was an infield single right back to the pitcher. Was just able to leg it out. This one hit towards right. Size it up. And there's the second out of the inning. Runner tags home. He's able to go in safely. Comets advance their lead 5-2 here in the top of the second.
There's sac fly RBI for Grant O'Connor. Now it's 5-2 for the Comets. Well, pitching coach out to talk. Oh, he's going to have to, he's pointed to the umpire for his shoulder. Off.
So McDonough's day is over. Gets through an inning and 2/3, gave up 5, but not a lot of help behind him defensively. As the Comets have to lead 5-2. We'll head to a short break. Stay tuned as we come back here on Mason Sports Radio. New pitcher on for the Knights, number 23, the sophomore Sam Wilson. Pitched one game this year, 3 innings pitched. That was versus Winton Woods early in the year. Had 8 strikeouts in that game. About that Winton Woods game, Kings not only won, they won 31 to nothing.
Yeah, I still don't know how you allow 31 runs in a game, but here we are sitting at Prasco Park talking about it.
Absolutely a bad football score, even worse baseball one. That one gets away. O'Connor will move up to second off of the wild pitch. J.J. Darce steps in for his second at-bat. Darce hit a double in the top of the first. Helped score Liam Sanders, which made the game 1-0. Southpaw Wilson on. That one upstairs makes it 2-0. Common offense looking almost the best that they have this year. Of 4 games this year, over 10 runs scored. O'Connor breaks for third. He's in safely. Throw gets away from the third baseman for O'Connor.
Liam Sanders gets his steal there.
Excuse me, that was Liam Sanders. I'm messing up on my scorebook thinking Grant O'Connor, who had that sack RBI, is the guy on, but Sander now on at third.
Sander part of that E6 from the shortstop, threw the ball up the line. 3-1 count.
Darce looking to score the runner from third. That one upstairs will be a walk to Darce, the first batter of Wilson. There's a 3-1 count. He reaches off of the walk.
Ben Brandon will come on to run for J.J. Darce.
First pitch, that one popped into right. A lift foul. Cox, his second at bat, struck out in the first. That was which ended the top of the inning. Looks 0-1. Runners on the corners. Runner goes in the second easily. Here's J.J. Darst. It's his third stolen base on the year.
0-2 count.
Inside, that'll make it 1-2. Gets away from the catcher. Comets trying to get some more insurance. So with 2 gone here in the top of the second, 2 guys in scoring position. For Chase Cox, already has a home run on the year. He waits. Hits that one foul down the third base line.
That one almost went right into the Kings' dugout.
Comets making the sophomore Wilson work. Came in with 2 outs, now has put another runner in scoring position. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not. Makes the count 2-2. Chase Cox in his last at bat. That was his 6th strikeout of the young year. That one inside runs the count full. Hits this one into right center. Both going on it. Center fielder's able to lay under it. Gets the out. As the sophomore Sam Wilson is able to strand 2 Mason runners. But the Comets get 3 in the top of the second. They're up 5-2. Stay tuned for the bottom of the second here on Mason Sports Radio. Welcome you back into Prasco Park for the bottom of the second inning here. As Mason, a 3 spot in the top of the second. Kings has a lot of work to do. Leading it off is the designated hitter, Danny Wilson. Wilson, a .353 hitter through 17 at-bats on the year. That one down low. Countryman out for his second inning of work. Did give up 2 in the first, but was able to get out of it without letting any more damage.
Countryman sat a long time in that dugout, considering it was a as it was a 4-run inning on top of the long, lengthy warm-up for the left-handed pitcher to come in.
It's a 4-pitch walk to Danny Wilson. It's the second time in 2 innings that Kings has gotten their leadoff guy on base.
Cal Yoder up to bat, the right fielder.
Yoder lines this into left field. O'Connor's able to lay under it, makes the catch, and now 1 gone in the bottom of the second.
Third baseman in, number 9, Zach Shutt. Third.
Shutt, another sophomore on this Kings team. Mentioned earlier, a team filled of underclassmen. .333 on the year. Mentioned with a lot of these guys, very high batting averages. That one, the play is made by Cade Landier in center field. Almost dropped in for a blooper, able to run in, make the play. 2 gone.
Nick Ruswick in for the Kings Knights. 2 runners on. Outside, ball 1. Here's the pitch. 1-1 count. That one, 78 miles per hour. One is looped in the right center field. Coming around is the runner from second base. The throw offline to third base, but hit right back up at Davies. It will be an RBI double for Zach Shutt. Sorry, that was Nick Ruswick with the RBI double. Back to the top of the lineup will be Nathan Tucker. Got a base hit his first at bat. Bly talking on the mound to Countryman in the infield. Daniel, what are your thoughts on what's going on out there on the mound?
You know, with Countryman, he, like you mentioned at the start of the inning, had that long rest due to the extremely long top of the second for the Comet offense. So maybe just a little cold with his stuff, but you know, your offense did a great job, got you this lead, and now Kings threatening with a chance to tie this one back up. Just saying, you know, calm down, relax a little bit. I don't really know if we expect Countryman to go super far in this game. We just got to get out of this one. Can't give much more up.
That one is popped up to foul territory and will go out of play for a foul ball. 0-1 count here to the leadoff man, Nathan Tucker, who is one of the better batters in the ECC, one of the better batters on this team. 19 hits on the year, first in the ECC. Cox not able to get it there in time. The run will score, and Tucker beats out the infield hit. RBI base knock for Tucker makes it 5-4. And Daniel, it's going to be a long night and a lot of scoring in tonight's action.
Yeah, for Brody Countryman, who hasn't had a whole lot of experience on this team, had that only one appearance so far this year. Didn't give up a couple. Just starting to turn into not the outing that Countryman is wanting on the mound. But now he's still got a couple guys on, threatening to tie and threatening to take the lead. Just got to get out of it.
That one was pop foul. Darst trying to get over there, slided, and was not able to make the catch. Only one down here in the bottom of the second inning. Swing and a miss on the fastball upstairs. A little bit early on that one.
With Rich doubled in his first at-bat, came around to score in the first.
Pitch. Upstairs. Able to spin on it. 1-2 count, one down, and 2 runners on. That one popped up in the air. First base side, foul territory, caught by Liam Sanders. 2 down now.
Countrymen, they're a great job to get Rich out. Rich, one of the top hitters on this team. And now Countrymen only 1 out away from getting out of this inning, still with the lead. But so far, just a complete offensive game for both sides.
That one. Davies past the glove. Grant O'Connor comes up firing. He'll fire home to Dorsch in time. He got him out at home. A great throw by Grant O'Connor in to cut down the runner, the tying run, and that will end the inning. The comments will go to the top of the third. A great throw by Grant O'Connor. We will be back here on Mason Sports Radio.
Top of the third now for the Mason Comets. Leading it off for the second straight inning is Isaac Fargo, the designated hitter for Mason. Grounded out to second in his first at-bat to start the inning. Comets put up a 2 spot in the first, 3 spot in the second. And if we're starting to see a bit of a trend through tonight's game, you really like the way that that's going.
Yeah, absolutely.
One upstairs. Fargo better eye on the team. Has a game this year where he's drawn 2 walks. That was versus Lakota East. Fargo, not a huge power guy, more contact. So that one drops in for strike 1. Mentioned was battling a bit of a shoulder injury. Has been able to push through it. Did miss almost last game, only 1 at bat. So that one in for strike 2. Missed the game beforehand. Count evens out at 2-2. Fargo looking to break through a slide of not hitting super well at the plate. That one dropped low. It now runs the count full. Mentioned Sam Wilson out for his 2nd inning of work. That one way high. Fargo starts off the top of the 3rd with a walk.
It's kind of what you want to see here is just get on base and score more runs for Countrymen. It's going to be a big scoring game. Kings, one of the better teams in scoring runs in the ECC. Obviously, we talked about earlier, scoring 31 against Winton Woods. Still one of the highest scoring teams in the ECC.
Coach Crociata stands in, looks at strike 1. Crociata, he singled into left center in his first at-bat. Talked earlier today about how big of a return he's been. Check back at Fargo, back on first. He's back in safely. But Crociata played most of last year hurt. Was a whirlwind of timelines throughout this season about when he would be back. Now the Comets have their right fielder back. That one gets the outside for strike 2. Now makes their 0-2 count. Crociata did come around to score in the 2nd inning. Started that 3-run parade the Comets went on. That one was outside. So Crociata last year in 47 at-bats at a .255 average, no extra base hits. So he looks at that.
2-2 count on Crociata.
Second look back on Fargo. He's back in. Fargo, not a huge stolen base threat, only 1 on the year so far. For a guy who's usually designated hitter first base, you wouldn't expect him to be taking off so much. That one, Crociata has to duck under. After being down 0-2, he works the count full. So far, we're seeing a bit of control issues from Sam Wilson on the mound from the sophomore. He walked the first batter that he saw, now full count. That one hit on the first, forced play at first. Fargo is able to get up to second, 1 gone, but Comets have a man in scoring position.
Drew Johnson will step to the plate. He walked his first time up as the umpire talking to the pitcher Wilson on the mound. Probably maybe tipping off a bulk a little bit, just getting a little heads up that he is bulking.
We already saw the balk from McDonough earlier in his outing. Something you rarely see in baseball. That one low makes it 1-0 to Johnson, like you said. Worked to walk in his first at-bat. That was the 11th of the year for Johnson. The 1-0 hits this one on the short. Fargo breaks. Throw on the first. In time, now 2 gone.
Kellen Rich able to have an accurate throw this time over to first. Not pull the first baseman up the line. That's kind of what happens when you don't rush your throw.
Yeah.
As Cade Lanier will step back up for his third at-bat of the evening.
3 innings, 3 at-bats. Like you were kind of motioning towards Trevor. It's just been an ugly day in the field for this Kings defense. Multitude of errors, which, you know, you play a lot cleaner. This scoreboard's probably going to look a little bit different. Comets likely wouldn't have 5. Landier 1 for 2 on the day, smoked a double in the left center in his last at-bat. That one's in for a strike.
And Kings heading into this game, it's not like they aren't the best fielding team. They're third in the ECC with a fielding percentage of just over 950, 958 fielding percentage.
1-1 swung through from Landier. Nice breaking ball there from Wilson. Now makes the count 1-2. Comets trying to keep the streak of at least one run an inning alive. They have a man on third. That's Vargo, but 2 gone. Landier's been batting over 400 on the year. That one way outside makes it 2-2. Wilson not super aggressive pitching so far in this about inning and a third that he's done. A lot of these counts running near full or full. And speaking of that, that one's down low, now 3-2.
Another full count worked by a Comet batter this inning.
Landier, chance to get Vargo home from third. Fouls that one off. Another pitch to Landier. That one high. Landier keeps the streak of a walk per game alive. Now the Comets have men on the corners for Sam Davies.
Sam Davies 0 for 2 today. Reached on air in the second inning and grounded out to the shortstop in the first.
And Davies did come around to score in the second.
And Daniel, talking about the stat for Cade Landier, that's what, his 11th straight game with a walk?
Absolutely, yeah. We said walk in every single game this year. Guy who just has an absolutely incredible eye. I mentioned about a couple guys on this Comet team. This is a team that last game versus Fairfield worked 9 walks collectively towards the top of the conference. You know, the GMC website doesn't have a team walk stat pump throw down. Landier swipes second easily, but you got to think if we had a stat line for teams how many times they're walking Comets, you know, I would assume they would be there in that one spot.
Oh, absolutely.
1-1. This one hit towards second, a dive, and it gets away from the second baseman. Vargo scores. Landier scores. Comets 7-4 lead over Kings here in the top of the third.
That will be labeled as a hit, not an error on the second baseman. So Sam Davies gets his first hit of the game, and it will be a 2 RBI base hit too.
That makes it a 7-game hit streak for the junior. Now Liam Sanders steps back in, reached on air in his last at-bat, had a smoking double in the first. That one hit into center, a dive, and he made the play. There's some fielding for the Kings defense, and that's going to end the inning. Comets, they get 2 in the top of the third, now lead 7-4. Bottom of the third here, Comets put up 2 in the top half. New pitcher on for Mason, number 19, the junior Caden Schurz. Only 1 appearance this year. That was the 11th versus Lakota East. Cade Landier's, Brody Countryman's day is officially done through 2 innings. Did give up 4 runs. First pitch in for a strike. It's the first year on varsity for Caden Schurz. Has one of the best breaking balls on this team. It is curveball. According to some guys on the team, they say A+ pitch for Schurz. Spin rate reaching near major league levels. Count now 1-1. This one popped up over towards third. Davies able to lay under it and makes the play.
Caden Schurz, that fastball topping out about 84 miles per hour.
Quentin Climes will step in his second at-bat.
Foul ball hit off the leg of the batter.
Makes the count 0-1. He flied out to left in his first at-bat, which ended the bottom of the first. Fastball outside makes it 1-1.
And the contrast on that breaking ball and that fastball is drastic for sure. The fastball is sitting mid-80s. The breaking ball about 70s, low 70s.
To mention, we've already talked about the movement on that breaking ball. That one lined into right. It'll be a base hit for Climes. So 1 gone, and now 1 on for Kings.
Designated hitter Danny Wilson will step in.
Wilson walked to begin the bottom of the second. Swings for a foul tip. Schurz so far pitching aggressively. A lot of first pitch strikes that we've been seeing. Feels like a lot different, especially from what we were seeing on the Kings side. Sam Wilson.
Time called by the batter.
Oh, 1 pitch. This one popped back. Darce going back. He's able to make the catch. J.J. Darce right by the railing. Almost gets out. Second time today he's made a play like that. Now 2 gone for Kings.
Kyle Yoder, right fielder.
Yoder singled in his first at-bat, fouls that one off.
Man, that breaking ball moves.
Talk about it. Benjamin Schurz being his first year on varsity, likely a guy we're going to be seeing a lot the rest of the year, and only being a junior, guy could maybe be potentially thrown into a starting role going into next year. We'll have some guys graduating, some of the starters. Andrew Visconti, the main one, swung through that. Makes it 0-2.
That
Sure.
one hitting 83 on the fastball.
Scherz trying to get out of this inning would be the first of any team of not allowing a single run. Two out, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Caden Scherz, a beautiful inning on the mound, ends the third. Comets keep their lead 7-4. Stay tuned for the fourth here on Mason Sports Radio. Top of the fourth, Comets come back up to bat. New pitcher on for Kings. It's number 11, the left fielder, Andrew Lyman. He moves in onto the mound, taking his place in left, Tyler Griffiths, the junior. Grant O'Connor leads it off for the Comets. He fouled that one back. One upstairs. O'Connor singled in the first, reached in a second at bat. Hit a sacrifice fly out to right. This one going back towards right field. Able to make the play. O'Connor is retired to start the fourth.
Just a little pop up to the right field side and kind of just missed that one. You can tell based on the head shake right after he made contact with that one.
So quickly one gone for the Comets. Wonder if we saw Mason defensively settle in on the at the bottom of the third. Wonder if Kings, at least they're hoping, can kind of frame that as well. JJ Darstub doubled and walked so far in 2 at-bats today. As Lineman starting very high, makes the count 3-0. One right down the middle for strike one.
That one dropped right in the bucket.
3-1. One outside. Second time today that Darce has drawn a walk. So Comets will have one on with one out for Chase Cox.
And then Brandon will come in and run for Darce.
Chase Cox is his third at-bat of the game. Struck out in the first inning, flew out to center last time. Cox mentioned batting .333, extremely late time called.
Be a ball called on the pitcher, so J.J. Darts will be awarded second base.
It's the second time today that Kings has a lot of bulk. It was McDonough earlier, now Lyman. One's in there for a strike. Brandon in place for Darst, moves up to second. That one crushed, but able to get it back quickly. Down at third, throw back to second, way offline, gets into the outfield. Brandon is able to move up to third. So it's a line out for Cox, but the runner able to move up.
Argo will step in for his third plate appearance today.
Makes the play in the outfield, and that'll do it for the top of the fourth. Comets unable to get any runs, do get a guy to third. But that'll do it. This game still 7-4, Comets lead. Bottom of the fourth back here at Prasco Park. Comets still lead 7-4. Both teams coming off scoreless innings offensively. Leading off for the Knights is the shortstop, Zach Shutt.
Zach Shutt so far today. It's a fly out and a double. A walk.
Kinsher is on for his second inning of work. Shutt fouls that one back. For sure, it's like we mentioned, only his second game this year. We talked a lot in that bottom of the third on his breaking ball, looking like his best pitch today. Swings through that fastball. I have a feeling, Trevor, this is a guy who we're going to start seeing a lot more as the season goes on. Fastball soaring right through the bats and then coming back with that high 60s breaking ball. Schurz is looking almost unhittable.
And that high 60 breaking ball is only the curveball. That's not even his best breaking ball. His best breaking ball being the slider, seeing about 72 miles per hour and just moving like crazy.
Schurz now works this to a 2-strike count, looking to retire the second straight batter he sees via the strikeout. Pause the 0-2. Got him. Breaking ball drops right in for a second strikeout of the outing for Caden Schurz. See, he's just starting to run right through this Kings lineup.
A great pitch again, Daniel. Like we were talking about, the slider just absolutely freezes.
I mean, that thing that is dirty. That is a beautiful off-speed pitch that we're seeing from Caden Schurz. Out the 9-hole hitter steps back
right
up
back
for Kings. Nick Ruswick doubled in his last at-bat.
Ruswick was the one that was gunned at home on the Grant O'Connor put out.
This one crushed into right field. Crociata's able to make the play. Now 2 gone. Schurz looking for a 1-2-3.
Hutch Crociata right there didn't make it.
So it was a rough start defensively for the Comets, or I guess you could say in a better way, a great start offensively for Kings in the first couple of innings. And we're able to hit Brody Countryman pretty well, but ever since Caden Schurz has stepped in looking for his second complete inning, only 1 base runner allowed. That one hit on the Davies at third, able to make the play. Throw on to Sanders. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Caden Schurz. 2 great innings for the junior. Comets still lead 7-4. Top of the 5th here from Prasco Park, leading off for the Comets, Hutch Crociata. He singled in his first at-bat in the second and grounded out to first in the fourth. Tried to drop a bunt there, pulls it back.
Hutch Crociata 1 for 2 on today.
Crociata, one of the top bunters on the team. While he was hurt, I'd be talking to him in one of our classes. I say, "You playing today? You playing today?" He says, "Don't know, but maybe for a bunt." And so far, we're seeing a lot of those attempts. Rolls over to second. Crociata's retired to start the fifth.
4-3 ground out for Crociata, sending Drew Johnson up, who is 0 for 1 today with a ground out and a walk.
Johnson, a guy who was batting leadoff for the Comets in a couple of games this year. They were experimenting with him in that role, and now finds himself batting ninth. So Coach Bly, not a whole lot of adjustments to this lineup throughout the year, but Johnson being one of those guys who's been moving around, as well as Cade Landier, the guy batting leadoff for the Comets tonight. Hits that one on the short, gets it on a hop throw on the first. It's far, but they're able to get it for the second out.
Cade Landier up is 1 for 2 tonight with a walk in the third inning, 2 RBIs, and a double.
Hit that double in the second inning. He's came around the score both times that he's been on base. That one way outside. Kings trying to replicate what Caden Schurz did for the Comets and get a 1-2-3 inning. So far, 2 up, 2 down via the ground out for the Comets. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the Comets, when their offense is on, it's mainly been in the first couple of innings. We've seen a couple of run rules for them this year, especially that 14-1 win versus Princeton. Landier works a 4-pitch walk. He gets on once again tonight. But as I was saying, Trevor, it feels like this offense gets a little colder as the game starts to go on. They start off super hot, and they definitely did that tonight, scoring 7 in the first couple of innings. But don't want to see them tail off, especially with a Kings team who, in the last couple of innings, haven't been threatening much with the runs, but you've seen their offense produce a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Pick off, no good. In the bat for Sam Davies is number 31, Chase Gandert, the sophomore. Left-handed pitcher, they'll pinch hit for Davies. Davies was 1 for 2 tonight, reached on an error. That will be 2-1 count.
Chase Gander, not a whole lot of playing time for the sophomore. It's his 7th at-bat, lines that on the short. Busy day for the 6th man on the defense. Throw to first in time. Comets work a walk. Other than that, 3 down. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Comets still up, 7-4.
We're back here for the bottom of the 5th inning. Caden Schur still on the mound. Coming up to bat will be the shortstop, Kellen Rich. Rich had 2 putouts that last inning. One on Chase Gander and one on Drew Johnson. Rich, 1 for 2 today with an RBI base hit in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch from Schurz. Fastball inside, strike 1 on Rich. Comets pitching has been extremely well these last couple innings, not allowing any runs. Only allowing 4 on the night, all gone to Brody Countryman. The 0-1 pitch from Schurz. Fastball just barely misses, just a bit outside on that one. 1-1 count. Curveball drops it in there for strike 2, 1-2 count. 71 mile per hour curveball drops right in.
Yeah, that slow curve dropping completely. Looks like it's so high, drops right in, catches right around the top middle part of the zone.
Here's the pitch. Just low. On the fastball, 2-2 count. Elm topped out at 81 miles per hour.
Sure looking for his 3rd strikeout, start out the 5th.
2-2. Outside, makes it full.
It's been a very solid day for Rich so far. A double and a single for the senior.
No one fouled straight back. We'll do the 3-2 again. Fastball, he was a little late on it.
Longest at bats forced to Schurz in this game.
Be a foul ball hit off the knob of the bat.
How funny is that when you see trying to go for the check swing, instead hits the knob.
Wow, that's unfortunate. Because it definitely, if it hits the knob of the bat, it definitely clips the hand as well. Whenever you go to swing, you check swing, it hits the knob of the bat, your hand still gets hit sometimes, and just unfortunate.
Even if not, it's going to sting like crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. Had one of those the other day. Here's the pitch. That one will be fouled right back to the screen. We'll do the 3-2 yet again.
Rich just doing a great job of staying alive, fouling off some of these extra pitches from Schurz.
Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4. He'll take the walk. First walk surrounded by Schurz. And up to bat now will be left fielder and pitcher Lehman.
Andrew Lehman hasn't been a huge game for him so far. One of the top contributors on this team is top 5 in the ECC in batting average. As he came in to pitch, has done very well against this Comet offense.
Strike 1. Fastball blowed right by him. Runner on first after the leadoff walk. Here's the pitch from Schurz. That one will be popped up in the air. Second baseman out to get it. Hutch Cosciato will call him off and catch that one. That will be the first out of the inning on a quick pop out to Hutch Cruciata. One down. Stepping up to the bat will be number 21, Tyler Griffith, the junior. He took the spot of Carson McDowell batting. Here's the pitch.
Griffith 1 for 10 on the year, batting just a 100 average. Does have 2 RBIs that came from that one hit. Has walked 3 times this year.
Here's the pitch. Schurz outside, 83-2-0 count. Sorry, it will be a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Schurz throws down. Will not be in time, and he loses the ball as well. Be a stolen base, the first stolen base for Kings in tonight's action.
Yeah, it's just an awkward throw from Darst. Going back, it was a good jump from Rich on first, but that ball just very low on the throw. Gave Drew Cox, or Chase Cox, just really no chance of getting the play.
3-1 count. Schurz not losing some of his control so far. Comets do have some people warming up in the bullpen.
It's the first time in these 3 innings for Schurz that he's had a run threaten. Darst will run onto the mound.
Playing the Jeopardy theme here at Prasco Park. Griffith still up to bat, working a 3-1 count with 1 down in the home half of the 5th inning. Pitch from Schurz. Outside, ball 4. 2 men on for Schurz. With only 1 down, stepping up to the plate will be Quentin Clennens, who's been playing first base today. He is 1 for 2 today. Had a base hit in the 3rd inning and had a fly ball double play, 7-3 double play. It was more of a 7-4-3 double play because they had the cutoff. That one is roped into the right field, caught by Hutch Cruciata on the fly. Robbed him of a base hit. Great sliding catch by Hutch Cruciata.
Absolutely, that's a great play by one of the better outfielders on this Comet team. Was threatening, if that ball gets down, that's likely a run scored. Depending on if Cruciata could have got that in, but slides, makes the play. Just what a play there from Cruciata.
Schurz now working. 2 outs. Up to bat will be Danny Wilson, the designated hitter for tonight's action. First pitch. Lands in there, 83-mile-per-hour fastball. For strike 1.
Yeah, Wilson worked a walk in the 2nd, came back up in the 3rd, flew out to Darst, had to lean over the railing to make a nice play. He's 1 for 2. Or 0 for 1, excuse me.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball outside. Be 1-1.
Wilson, who came into today with only 1 extra base hit on the year. That was a double.
That one is roped to center field. Landier back. It will get over his head and get to the wall. 1 run will score, digged out and he will be a standing double, and 2 runs will score for Kings. Now it is 7-6, and this game is right back in it for Kings.
I mean, what great contact from Danny Wilson, the designated hitter right there. That's the farthest ball we've seen today. Gets over the head of Kay Landier in center. I mean, that is a very far center field to cover for Landier. I mean, Wilson just got every piece of that. And a 3-run lead that was pretty comfortable for the Comets. Now back down to 1. And now a runner on second as well.
Coach Bly out to chat with the infield and Schurz. Or maybe we have a pitching change, and no, we will not. Bly stays with the steady hand and Schurz. Try to get him out of this inning with only 2 runs scored. And number 18, Caleb Yoder, 1 for 2 tonight, has a strikeout. Struck out in the 3rd inning and has a base hit in the 2nd.
Look at Coach Bly showing trust in his junior. Schurz came in and dominated the first 2 innings, and it's been a rocky 5th for the junior. But Coach Bly, it was a very short meeting. Just saying, we keep you out. Can you get this last out? A single likely ties this.
Inside, ball 1. Scherz's command and control a little off right now as we are heading closer and farther out in his outing.
Yoder was Scherz's first strikeout victim to end the 3rd.
Scherz not looking good here as down 2-0 to Yoder.
You hope the junior's not losing his confidence out on the mound. You got to attack.
That one outside. 3-0, has not thrown a strike so far in this plate appearance.
Got to think the Comets have a lot of movement in their bullpen. Looks like this outing for Schurz coming to an end.
Gets the strike call. 3-1 count, 2 down. Daniel, do you have the green light here if you're Yoder?
No, I mean, Scherz's control has been very off this inning. But now he's in a spot where he has to pitch to you. You have a chance to tie this one.
Curveball drops in there. 3-2 count, 2 outs, full count to Yoder.
It's one of the biggest pitches of the game right here. Full count for Schurz. You walk him, it's still fine. But you want to get it out here.
Schurz the pitch. Fouled away. Curveball got a piece of it, fouled it right back to the screen.
Yoder, who came into today a .217 hitter, 0 for 2, that average continuing to drop. Guys, now 2 for his last 10 at the plate.
Schurz will step off. Full count, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the slider. Bolts it down and gets out of the inning with only 2 runs allowed. It'll be a 2-run RBI base hit, double for Danny Wilson, and we'll go ahead and send it to a quick break. We'll be back here for the 6th inning here on Mesa Sports Radio.
Top of the 6th now from Prasco Park. Sun is set and the lights are on here in one of the most beautiful ballparks in at least Mason, but maybe the Cincinnati area. It's Liam Sanders stands in for the Comets.
Sanders 1 for 3 tonight. Reached on an error in the second. Had a a double to get the hit parade going in the first inning, and then flew out to the center fielder.
It really got a hold of that double to left in the first inning and flew out to center in the third. That ended the inning. One of the first times today for Mason that a hitter has had to wait 2 innings to hit again. For the Comets, they were flying in the first couple of innings, saw guys almost hitting twice in 1 inning. But since then, the Kings pitching staff has been able to really settle in against this Mason offense. This Mason has kind of ran cold. Sanders now works this count to 2-2. Outside makes it full. Lyman back out for another inning of work.
So for this full count to go in the other direction.
That one fouled off. That one outside. Sanders works the walk. He's on base for the 2nd time today. Leadoff man for the Comets gets on. Dylan Heimbuck will pinch hit for Grant O'Connor. A guy who, as the season has gone on, has been getting a lot more playing time on varsity. First year at the big level. Stands in for his first at-bat. Lefty looks at a ball.
I'm Buck on the air, batting just over 250. On base percentage about 417.
That first strike. Heimbuck, in the span of April 2nd to April 8th, had 3 games with an RBI. So a guy who's only hit 8 times this year, but has produced very well for this team. Check swing. It's a strike anyways. Makes the count 1-2. Heimbuck sends this in the shallow left field, makes the play. This runner will retreat back to first, now 1 gone.
Darce will come up to bat, continuing to hit and play in tonight's action.
Darcy's reach base. All 3 at-bats has not came around to score. He doubled in the first, has walked his last 2 times.
Only 1 for 2 for tonight's action.
Darst also swiped a bag in the 2nd inning. The 2-0 to the catcher. Gets a hold of this one into left field. Rough jump for the left fielder. That one gets down. Sanders holds it second. It's another base knock for J.J. Darst. Comets now have 2 on here in the top of the 6th.
Chase Cox 0 for 3 today. Strikeout, fly out to center field, and a liner right to the 3rd baseman. Strike one on the off-speed pitch.
Comets been held scoreless since the third inning, trying to break that drought. That one lightly tapped, rolls foul. Has not been the game that Chase Cox has wanted at the plate. Mentioned 0 for 3 on the game so far. And now one of the biggest chances that he's had all day. With 2-1, still only a one-run game, so still anyone's game to win. One gone. Cox has a chance to get this lead up. On the ground to short, tough play. Sanders didn't even break for third, so they'll get the force out at 3. So same look. Runners on first and second. Now 2 gone.
Yeah, 6'5" fielder's choice. Now stepping in looks like number 12, Brant Fisher, the senior outfielder for the Comets.
Fisher, not a whole lot of playing time this year. Last year, only 7 at-bats at a .429 average. Did have an RBI on the year. One of those hits did come as a double. Got one upstairs. Comets really starting to use the pinch hitters in these past 2 innings. Getting fresh guys out, either on the base pass or in the box. The one inside. Almost hit him, gets away. Runners will advance. So now with 2 gone, Comets have guys on third and second.
This is prime position here for Fisher. Fisher coming in today back 1 for 3. Sorry, 0 for 3 with at bats. Was walked once and stole a base.
Finds himself, and once again, a huge at bat of this game. Top of the 6th, you're up by 1. You have 2 guys in scoring position. A single will at least get 1 home. That one way outside makes it 3-1. Comets also threatening one more ball would load the bases. For likely Hutch Crociata, that one in for strike 2.
Full count, 2 outs.
Huge pitch for Linen, 3-2. Clubs this one into center, but the play is made. Comets threatened with 2 runners in scoring position, but Linen and the Knights are able to get out of it. No runs surrendered. Comets still lead 7-6. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th here on Mason Sports Radio. back for the bottom of the 6th here at Prosco Park. Comets still up 7-6. The new pitcher on for the Comets is a freshman, Ollie Stewart. 3 appearances on the year. He's pitched 6 innings, only giving up 2 hits on the year with 6 strikeouts. Last time on was the 14th versus Hamilton. Pitched 2 innings, got the save, no hits allowed. Looking to replicate the numbers that Caden Schurz put up, especially in his first 2 innings of work. The freshman deals. Swung through for strike 1.
Yeah, Stewart blew that fastball right by the batter.
Absolutely bringing the heat on the first pitch. Loving to see that, not just from your pitcher, but from a freshman. This is a guy who you're likely going to have for a long time at the varsity level, already getting a bunch of that experience. He's pitching more than some of these other guys out of the pen than you would expect. So it shows that Coach Bly and this Mason team has a lot of faith in this freshman here early in his pitching career.
That fastball for the foul back was at 86 miles per hour. 86 mile per hour fastball for a freshman is phenomenal.
As Zach Shutt up for the night, struck out in his last at bat. Stewart threatening another. The 1-2. Down low. Got him. 1 up, 1 gone via the strikeout for the freshman, Ollie Stewart. It's now 1 gone here in the bottom of the 6th.
Nice little backwards K. Second of those on the night.
Ruswick standing in. Bottom of the order for the Knights. Looks at strike 1. This on the ground, gets over Stewart's head. Johnson on the Sanders at first, makes the play. Now 2 gone.
Four, 3 ground out.
So already just a few pitches in, Stewart threatening a 1-2-3 inning after an explosive first couple of innings like we've talked about for this Kings offense. This Comet pitching staff, relatively, aside from last inning, has kind of shut them down. Obviously the 2-run double last inning from Danny Wilson kind of being an outlier of that. Someone gets away from Darce, makes it 1-1.
Nathan Tucker, 2 for 3 today with an RBI single in the second.
It's a 1-1, fouls that one back once more. Stewart already a K on the inning, looking to get through with no damage allowed. Kings starting to run out of chances to just get one more back to tie this game. Stewart, the 1-2. Outside.
Man, he's really trying to make him bite on that curve, that outside breaking ball. Hasn't been able to get him to swing and miss yet.
Down low, runs the count full. Stewart, his longest outing on the year was versus Coleraine, went 3 innings. He struck out 2, gave up 5 hits. But none of those coming in to score. Full count once more. Outside. Tucker works the walk. So the first one to reach against Stewart here in the 6th. Kills the 1-2-3 inning. That puts the tying run on base for Keelan Rich. Been on base a couple of times tonight. Had a single in the second. Fastball upstairs. was inside, makes it 2-2. Rich hit a double in the first inning. Runner goes, throw down from Darst, and they got him. Beautiful throw from J.J. Darst, catches the runner at second. And the Comets end the bottom of the sixth, still in the lead. 7-6, we'll head to a break. Top of the seventh here at Prasco Park. Comets still in the lead, 7-6. Leading off for Mason, Hutch Crociata, as Andrew Linen will stay on the mound for another inning of work. Crociata singled in the second. He's 1 for 3 on the game, pair of ground balls. And you're the Comets. You still have this lead, but you do just want to get a little more cushion going into the bottom of the seventh. You know, likely to have Stewart come back out to get the save. But just getting that one extra can do you so well in giving Stewart a little bit of breathing room. Crociata looks at 2 balls, makes it 2-0. Crociata, a pair of nice plays in right field today as well. One clips the outside for strike 1. Shows how big of an asset that Crociata has been, not only at the plate, but as well in right field. Comets have been experimenting in the outfield this year, especially Grant O'Connor, who started today in left field. First time this year that he has seen that spot. And then Crociata coming back, able to get their proven outfielder back in the lineup. Rung him up on strike 3. Crociata set down on a full count pitch. So worked a good count, but Linen able to reel back in it, now 1 down.
Drew Johnson.
Johnson looks at a strike. Did walk in the second inning. Other than that, has not been on base in any of his other appearances. 1 low makes the count 2-1. Way upstairs, gets away from the catcher. the count at 3-1. Johnson does work a lot of walks. Like we said, already worked one today. That one low. So number 2, Johnson here in the top of the 7th is on with 1 out.
Back to the top of the lineup.
Cade Landier will step in. Been a solid game for him. He's worked 2 walks today. We mentioned the stat line of him walking in every single game this year. Can add so much to a team. Look back at Johnson on first. He's back in safely. Landier has scored twice today. He's going to try and look to get Johnson home. Try and get this lead more than just 1. Swung through that one. Makes it strike 1. Another look back to Johnson at first. He's back in safely. A lot of times today, Kings trying to keep the Comets back away from stealing. Johnson does go. No throw down. He easily swipes second. Now he's gets into scoring position. So 1 gone. 1 upstairs. Makes it a 3-1 count. Swung through that. Makes it full once more. Comets have worked many full counts today. Landier looking for potentially his 3rd walk of the night. 3-2. Fouled that one back. The Comets with stolen bases came into today 2nd in the GMC with 37. Have reached the 40 number with a couple on the night today. Once again, 3-2. Runner goes. Fouled it back off once more.
Johnson took off there. Unfortunate that it was a foul ball. But he would have 100% been safe there at 3rd.
And Johnson came into today with 5 stolen bases. It's a decent lead, being held on by short. Won't go, that one upstairs. It's a 3-walk game for Cade Landier, the senior. He gets on, still only 1 out. Comets have 2-1 here in the top of the 7th.
Chase Gandert steps back in.
Grounded out to short to end the inning last time up. Tries to drop a bunt.
The wild pitch actually would be off the glove of the catcher. And they play audio on the scoreboard. Michael Scott from Dunder Mifflin saying no on the wild pitch.
Famous office clip. I know one of our old sports radio members, Adam Little, probably loving that. Being a big office fan, it'll be a meeting at the mound. So Comets threatening here, only 1 gone. Big opportunity for Chase Gander. Already looked to drop the bunt on that first pitch. But the Comets already, like we said, don't know for sure, but likely to run back out with the freshman Ollie Stewart in the bottom of the 7th. You're able to get him, or whoever would be on the mound, another run to work with. You know, you're feeling really good as a defensive unit if you can get one or maybe both of these guys home.
This is more of a stalling tactic, I think, here from the coach. Looking over, Kings does have someone working in their bullpen. I would say if he gives up a run here, they go to him, whoever's warming in the pen.
So there's been Very long outing for Lyman so far today. Now the sophomore Gander, a big chance to get a few home here in the top half of the 7th. Gander has a triple on the year. That was versus Hamilton. At one low, makes it a 2-0 count. That triple just came Wednesday, so just a couple of days ago. Hopefully hoping that that hot bat can translate. Takes a hack at that one, swung through for strike one. Still a good hitter's count, makes it a 2-1 count for Gander. It's Johnson and Landier on third and second. Looks to drop the bunt. Able to get it down the third base line. The suicide squeeze works to perfection. The Comets adjust their lead to 2.
Great job there by Gander to lay the bunt down, and a great call by Bly to call in the suicide squeeze.
I mean, that's old baseball right there. Putting down a bunt with 2 guys in scoring position. Call for the squeeze works out perfectly. Comets, one of the better bunting teams that you will see, especially in the GMC. What a play there from Gander. Now Liam Sander. He's going to drop a bunt as well. That gets down. Throw home gets away. Comets now up by 3. Runners on the corners. 2 straight perfectly executed bunts. The Comets lead 9-6.
Again, a great call by Bly calling the bunt. Another RBI for Sanders for his season. And this is what we call small ball here, Daniel. Small ball. We love it.
You know, Coach Bly down at third smiling ear to ear seeing those kinds of plays work.
And O'Connor steps back in.
Pinch hit for Dylan Heimbuck in his last at-bat. Now a big chance for O'Connor. Singled in the first inning. Runner goes. It's a bad jump for Sanders. He's still able to go. Not a great throw there from the catcher. So now guys on second and third. Comets still only 1 out.
Daniel, not right there. It was a steal first and third, more of a defensive indifference. I think that was just a plan there by the catcher and all them. Kind of a bait throw, if you know what I mean. Try to bait the runner home.
Yeah, and you have Gander on third, who is a pretty solid speed threat. Could be a smart play regardless now. You think a single or something into the outfield would score 2. Almost kind of a lose-lose scenario for Kings on a play like that. Like you say, Trevor, probably a good call, just letting him get the bag.
Foul. That was a close one right there, Daniel. I don't quite know if that one actually went foul.
Either way, it's the call. O'Connor ripped that ball to the left field side. But now, once again, feels like we're repeating ourselves, a full count. Brian O'Connor, a big chance steal here, only 1 out. Thought it was ball 4. Instead, O'Connor goes down looking for out number 2. That is a huge strikeout for the Knights.
JJ Darsh back up, last time up, last inning. Had a base hit.
Hit a single, made it all the way to third. Ropes that to third, throw on the first, in time. Comets are able to get 2 here in the top half of the 7. 3 outs We give them the win. We'll go to a break. Stay tuned for the bottom of the 7th here on Mason Sports Radio. Bottom of the 7th, last chance for the Knights here at Prasco Park. Comets put up 2 in the top half. The Knights need 3 to send this game to extras. First pitch hit right on the sander at first. Barely has to move to make the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. Ollie Stewart remains on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. Looking for the save. So it would be his 2nd save of the year. High and in fastball. Gets a swing and miss.
Blew right by him as we now take over to 9 o'clock.
Hit on the 3rd, mistreated. Throw on the 1st. He beats it out.
Quick throw pulled Liam Sanders off the bag. It was really close, though. I would give him that. Very, very, very shocking. And great job by Gander to recover.
Yeah, Gander, that ball was roped off the bat. And it's just a tough play to make, especially for a guy like Gander who hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities in the field at the varsity level. So now 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Griffith steps in. Fastball upstairs. Comets will love a double play to end this. Swing and a miss. Already saw a double play earlier this game. A very unusual double play, not your classic 6-4-3 or 4-6-3. Stewart tosses it back to first.
Yeah, that double play, 7-4-3. It was a catch in left field by Grant O'Connor into the second baseman, Johnson, over to Sanders.
Yeah, it was McDonough who was on first. A regular flyout, must have just not tracked it well off the bat, was caught right around second when the throw was to Sander. Now 2-1, another throw back from Stewart. Comets' win today would be 10 straight victories for in-conference and out-of-conference play. Outside makes it 3-1. Was a rough 10-5 loss to start the year in Tennessee versus Oak Ridge. Since then, the Comets have been almost unstoppable. And for a team who, obviously the big story, you won the state championship last year. You had 17 seniors retire from your roster. And now you have a chance to go on a double-digit win streak. Swing and a miss causes it to be a full count. Stewart threatening another K.
Another full count yet again.
Fans get loud. The 3-2 upstairs, 2 on for the Knights. Darts will go out to talk to Stewart. So with a 3-run lead, the tying run comes to the plate. Still only 1 gone.
What do you think this talk's all about?
You know, you're a senior Darcy, you're talking to a freshman pitcher in a pretty high leverage situation. You're just telling them, you know, trust your stuff. We've already seen from Stewart today, he's had, you know, pretty solid command of his pitches. You say, remember what you did in the 6th. Show what you have. Tying run in on the plate. That one out for ball 1.
No action in that Comet bullpen.
It's Quentin Kleinez up for another at-bat. Outside, Stewart's missing that top left part of the zone, especially in this at-bat, makes it 2-0. Kleinez singled in a prior at-bat. Inside makes it 3-0. Kings threatening to fool the bases here in the bottom of the 7th. Freshman in one of the toughest spots he's been faced with in his short varsity career. 2 on, 1 out, and a 3-0 pitch. Stewart sets, deals. Upstairs, another walk. Bases are full with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. As now the winning run comes to the plate, tying run heads to first. Long meeting out for the entire defense. One of the best looks that we've seen for Kings all game, ever since the early innings. And Kings, they took the lead after the first. Since then, it's been all Comets in favor, but now only 1 gone. Bases are full with the winning run at the plate. Bases, juice. First pitch from Stewart. Pops this one up. Sanders able to make the play. Awkward catch, but 2 are gone. Only takes 1 pitch from Stewart to get the 2nd out of the inning. Trying to get out of almost a nightmare of a scenario. Last chance for the Knights. Base is full, down by 3 with 2 outs.
Stewart sets off.
Might be having trouble getting the pitch signs from Darst. For the first pitch. It's out for a ball.
That was a great looking pitch.
For Caleb Yoder. Last chance for Kings. Swung through that one, makes it 1-1. Okay, Yoder singled in the second. Since then, in his last 2 at-bats, he struck out. One of those strikeouts coming to the very man on the mound. Swung through that. A 1-2 count.
One looked a little Bauer-ish with the leg kick up and then went right back down, paused for a second, and then went.
Yeah, it's talking to Isaac Varga a little bit, getting some info on this team. He's talked about Ollie Stewart does love to change his delivery a lot, and that can really throw off a hitter. And it looks like that's what might be happening to Yoder. Having that change, throwing off the hitter's timing. Now Stewart 1 strike away from closing this one out. Yoder has struck out in his last 2 at-bats, looking to stay away from 3. Takes a look at first. The 1-2. Upstairs. Makes it 2-2. Struck him out! The Knights load the bases, but the freshman Ollie Stewart's able to get out of it. And now is 10 wins in a row for your Mason Comets.
Phenomenal job there by Ollie Stewart to get out of the jam that he put himself in. Walked 3 batters, and just great job by Stewart. Bolts it down, gets the save, and the Comets win.
It was a rough start for Brady Countryman and this Comet defense. But after a couple of great innings from Caden Schurz and then Ollie Stewart, the Comets were able to hold on. A very high-scoring game. The Comet offense came to play in the early innings, got some insurance late, and are able to get the 9-6 win. Look at for both of these teams, Comets move on to 10-1 on the season. And Kings, they will fall to 7-4. We thank you for watching here from the beautiful Prasco Park. I've been Daniel Panetti, joined alongside Trevor Rose, Alyssa Feinblatt doing the directing and the scoreboard, and Rayanne Aquino doing the camera work. Comets, big win here at Prasco Park.